Hi guys. So I've been getting a lot of questions about children's play and how parents can best support their play at home when they're not having traditional play dates or interactions with their peers. And today I want to talk a little bit about social scaffolding and sort of the framework that I use with preschoolers and toddlers in my classes to help best support and expand upon play. So a great place to start in terms of this idea of scaffolding is going to be making observations about your child's play, and then the next step being to make suggestions and or ask questions. But the way that you're going to do that is going to be key. So the language that I like to use as a teacher is, call it like I wonder statements. So what does that mean? If you have a child who, let's say, is building with their magnet tiles, and first you notice that they're trying to make a structure that's very tall and it keeps falling down. Maybe they're even frustrated about this. And perhaps what you could offer in that moment is I noticed that those blocks keep falling down. I wonder what would happen if, and could go in a number of directions. Or I wonder what would happen if we put a different block on the bottom. I wonder what would happen if we made it even longer or wider. I wonder what would happen if we put even more blocks on the top. Or I wonder what would happen if we didn't make it quite as tall. So you're making suggestions related to the play, giving them an idea of sort of how to problem solve this issue and different suggestions of how to move forward without giving a definitive way that they should be moving forward, right? And that's the difference between using an I wonder statement and then coming over and saying, I think you have to put a different block on the bottom. And doing that, right? Because this sort of leaves it open-ended for them to choose, like, that might get the wheels turning. It might take it in a totally different direction. But that's a really great example of making a suggestion, asking a question to help facilitate the play. On the same lines, sometimes another good direction to go with scaffolding is a suggestion that's a little more directed. So going along with this magnetile idea, that keeps falling. I wonder what we could use in the room to help it stand up, right? And then that sort of like helps to define a possible path. Again, it might not be the direction they go, offers a suggestion without saying, oh, if you prop it up on that book, it'll stand up, right? So we're still giving the child the opportunity to make a decision and kind of take the play to the next level. Often also demonstrating can be helpful. So sometimes seeing the adult making an attempt, maybe you start building with your own magnet tiles and sort of experimenting, I'm going to try. And again, it's not about actually solving the problem for them and showing them, but just, being a part of their experience in the problem solving. As my last sort of note here about scaffolding, you really want to use these opportunities, I believe, to provide support and encouragement of the child. And I do not always succeed at this. Sometimes it just comes spilling out of my mouth, but I try to avoid using phrases like great job or that's so good. And instead focus on phrases that are more specific to the work that the child is doing and kind of noticing and observing those things. So using this magnet tile example, that might be, I really like the way you're putting on one magnet tile at a time. You're working so carefully, right? So this is really calling out specifically and showing the child that I'm honoring their work, right? I'm noticing the detail of their work. And that's a key part of scaffolding. So I hope that this was helpful. And just know, parents, you guys are superheroes. I know many of you right now are wearing the hats of being full-time workers, parents, and full-time childcare. You're incredible. And what you're doing now is enough, even if you're not necessarily doing the things that I just talked about. These are merely suggestions based on questions that people have asked me about how they can best support their child in a way that they were being supported in the classroom and in classes. So I hope this is helpful. If you have any questions for me at all about this or anything else, you know where to find me.